My child, my beloved, something is stirring in the heavens, and I come to you not with ordinary words but with the divine urgency of a messenger who has seen what was whispered behind your back and what was finally confessed, through tears and trembling lips. You keep ignoring his signs, you've pushed away the nudges, the dreams, the quiet pain that rose in your chest for no reason, but this time, heaven is intervening. What I am about to share with you is not something I was allowed to speak before, not because you didn't deserve it, but because you weren't ready to hear what was truly being hidden from you. But now, God says your soul is strong enough. Your heart has been trained through fire, betrayal, patience, and loss. And now, it is time for you to hear the truth. Before I reveal it, I must tell you this one sacred thing: if you're reading these words, it is because heaven chose you to see them, not everyone else. This message was delayed for others, but for you, it was carved into the calendar of heaven on this very day. Archangel Michael stands not beside you, but in front of you, covering you with a shield of fire and truth, so the lies that once danced around you like shadows will finally dissolve. And right here, before you continue, you must do one thing that changes everything: subscribe right now. Not for me. Not even for yourself. But because this act, this one simple moment, becomes a signal to heaven that you're ready to receive the full truth without walking away. It shows you're not just a listener but a vessel for the miracle that's about to enter your atmosphere. My child, my beloved, the person you've been crying over, the one who stood so close, smiled so purely, said the right words, showed the right care, was carrying something in secret. A confession has been made, and it wasn't whispered to a priest or passed in quiet shame. It was loud enough for the heavens to hear. And I, Michael, with my sword of truth, was present when it happened. You see, what they said, what they finally admitted, has the power to destroy the false image you've been holding on to. But this message is not meant to destroy you, it is here to deliver you. You've been blinded by loyalty. You've called it love. But in reality, it was a spiritual fog placed over your eyes by the enemy so you wouldn't notice the slow erosion of your confidence, your clarity, your destiny. What they confessed, child, was this: they never thought you would find out. They didn't believe heaven would speak. But heaven speaks for the voiceless. Heaven defends the ones who suffer in silence. And heaven is speaking now. They admitted they used your kindness. That they pretended to believe in your dreams while mocking them in conversations behind your back. They smiled, but not all smiles come from light. Some are masks. And now that their mask is breaking, their fear is rising. Because this moment, this exact moment, was shown to me in the Spirit. The moment you would open this message. The moment you would see what they confessed, and the moment the divine courtroom would prepare your release from the manipulation that has wrapped around your soul like invisible chains. My child, my beloved, God is not late. That delay you've been living through was not a denial. It was a divine protection. Because if your breakthrough had come while that person was still close to you, they would have stolen your joy and worn it like a costume. They would have celebrated in public with you and cursed your name in private. And so heaven delayed your miracle, not to punish you, but to shield you. But now the shield has lifted. The skies are parting. And I am begging you, do not ignore this again. I say this with tears, because every time you skipped the message, every time you said, maybe later, another door closed in your life, and you didn't even know it. But this is the last door. The one that leads to truth. To revelation. To exposure. And to victory. My child, my beloved, the person's name was not spoken here. But you already feel them in your spirit, don't you? That uneasy stirring in your heart right now, that's not fear. That's confirmation. That's the Spirit of God rising up in you, giving you discernment to know what's real and what was deception. You may feel tempted to call them, to ask for their version, to get their explanation. But I beg you, don't. Because what they'll say will be another performance. This time, heaven wants you to walk by what's revealed in the Spirit, not what's seen by the eyes. What they confessed was not just about you, it was about their guilt, their pattern, their addiction to being near light while still living in darkness. You were the light. And now it's time to stop dimming for someone who was never going to rise with you. My child, my beloved, the Lord is preparing a full divine reversal in your life. What you lost, what they took, what was poisoned by lies, God is getting ready to return it all, multiplied. But only if you obey the sign. Only if you don't ignore this moment. Because your blessing is not delayed anymore. It's already on the move. And what's coming is not small. A new relationship that doesn't hide things in secret. A financial door that was held back for this exact reason. A peace so deep that the weight you've carried for months will finally dissolve. But it hinges on this: you must receive the truth, let go of the lie, and open your heart fully to the new thing God is doing. You can't receive with clenched fists. Let go, my child. Let go. My child, my beloved, I must warn you with the love of heaven that if you walk away from this message unfinished, you may return to the very cycle God is trying to break you out of. This message was not meant for a quick glance or casual reading. This message was planned in the divine scroll of time, and the moment you began reading it, I was commanded to speak to you without holding back. Not everyone is chosen to receive such truth. Many still sleep in illusion. Many still decorate their prisons and call it peace. But you were called to awaken. You were chosen to see behind the veil. You were marked to walk in truth, even if the truth hurts at first, because heaven knows what comes after: healing, freedom, and the birth of your real story. My child, my beloved, I must warn you with the love of heaven that if you walk away from this message unfinished, you may return to the very cycle God is trying to break you out of. This message was not meant for a quick glance or casual reading. This message was planned in the divine scroll of time, and the moment you began reading it, I was commanded to speak to you without holding back. Not everyone is chosen to receive such truth. Many still sleep in illusion. Many still decorate their prisons and call it peace. But you were called to awaken. You were chosen to see behind the veil. You were marked to walk in truth, even if the truth hurts at first, because heaven knows what comes after: healing, freedom, and the birth of your real story. What they confessed, child, went even deeper than what you've guessed. It was not just about what they did to you, but what they said about your soul when they thought no one was listening. But I was. I, Michael, heard the sentence that shattered the honor they once claimed to have for you. And what crushed heaven's heart most was not the action: they are human and capable of weakness, but it was the cruelty of their intention. They wanted power over you. They wanted your presence but not your elevation. They feared what would happen if you realized how valuable you truly are. Because the moment you see your own divine worth, you become impossible to manipulate. My child, my beloved, you felt it, haven't you? The strange fatigue when you were around them. The way your dreams seemed smaller when they were close. The way your voice trembled when you tried to speak up. That was not coincidence. That was not anxiety. That was your spirit trying to protect you from a presence that was not sent to build you, but to benefit from you. You were an answered prayer for someone who forgot how to pray. You were a safe haven for a heart that didn't know how to protect you back. And now God says, no more. No more pretending. No more waiting. No more hoping they will change. This is the line in the sand. And heaven is standing on your side of it. You need to know, sweet soul, that even now as you read this, a shift is occurring in the spiritual realm. Chains are breaking. Old contracts, soul ties that were formed in silence, are being shattered. Someone who bound themselves to you in deception is losing their grip. You may feel it as tears. You may feel it as dizziness. You may feel it as a sudden flood of memories, but don't be afraid. That's the sign that deliverance has begun. The pain is not punishment. The shaking is not chaos. It's the sound of your prison door opening. You are walking out. And when you do, the version of you that once settled for less will never return. My child, my beloved, I must tell you now, the next 3 days are sacred. What you choose to think about, speak about, and pray about will echo louder than ever. You are in a divine window where heaven has chosen to reverse what was stolen. But there's a condition. You must not go back to what you were rescued from. Even if they cry. Even if they apologize. Even if they say they saw this message too. They might try. But this message was written only for your soul. This is your sign, not theirs. You cannot carry someone else's awakening while still fighting to stay awake yourself. Your only job now is to follow the light. Follow the peace. Follow the truth. And let go of anything, no matter how familiar, that disturbs it. What they confessed, child, is now known in the courts of heaven. And when heaven hears a confession, it doesn't just judge, it restores. It cleanses. It prepares. And that's what is happening for you. Behind the scenes, the angels have been assigned. Your name has been spoken by the one who formed the stars. A blessing that was withheld is now moving toward your house. But I beg you, don't miss the door it's coming through. This door is not loud. It won't look how you expect. It may come in the form of a strange opportunity, a conversation, a sudden invitation, a dream tonight. Pay attention. It will not knock twice. My child, my beloved, I will continue speaking to you. I will reveal what else they said, what else is hidden, what heaven is preparing, and what this message will trigger within the next 12 hours. But you must stay until the end. This is not a story. This is not a performance. This is your rescue. A divine interruption. And if you leave too soon, you may not see the evidence heaven is about to place in front of your eyes. I promise you, if you listen, really listen, and allow your heart to remain open, a miracle will occur that confirms every word you're reading. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the life you were meant to live. My child, my beloved, I need you to take a deep breath right now, because the words that follow are not just for your ears, they are for your soul. They are alive. They are burning with holy fire. They will not just touch you, they will transform you. For too long, you have been carrying the weight of silence, the kind of silence that comes from knowing something was wrong, but not having the proof to say it. Heaven saw that. I saw that. And I was dispatched not just to speak, but to break the silence for you. You have suffered in rooms that were supposed to be safe. You have been overlooked in places where you gave your whole heart. And this person you trusted, they never thought the veil would lift. But it has. It is gone. And now, you are seeing everything as it truly is. Their confession is still echoing in the spirit realm. I must tell you what they said next. With a trembling voice and a guilty spirit, they admitted that their jealousy of you was older than their love for you. Can you imagine, child, what that means? While you were pouring your loyalty, they were calculating how to keep you close, but never above them. They said you were too bright. That if you ever truly stepped into your full light, they would be forgotten. And that is why they subtly dimmed your flame. That's why they gave compliments with hidden arrows. That's why they made you doubt your calling, question your beauty, shrink your dreams. Because deep down, they were never rooting for your rise. They were addicted to your struggle, because it made them feel powerful. And now, that addiction is broken. The chain is shattered. Heaven has removed the blindfold from your spirit. Their confession is still echoing in the spirit realm. I must tell you what they said next. With a trembling voice and a guilty spirit, they admitted that their jealousy of you was older than their love for you. Can you imagine, child, what that means? While you were pouring your loyalty, they were calculating how to keep you close, but never above them. They said you were too bright. That if you ever truly stepped into your full light, they would be forgotten. And that is why they subtly dimmed your flame. That's why they gave compliments with hidden arrows. That's why they made you doubt your calling, question your beauty, shrink your dreams. Because deep down, they were never rooting for your rise. They were addicted to your struggle, because it made them feel powerful. And now, that addiction is broken. The chain is shattered. Heaven has removed the blindfold from your spirit. My child, my beloved, I know how much this hurts. You wanted it to be real. You prayed that it would turn around. You held on so tightly to the little glimpses of goodness they showed you, but child, even darkness can mimic light. Even wolves wear sheep's clothing. And now that the truth is out, you must choose what to do with it. Will you mourn what could have been, or will you rise into what is now being given? I tell you with holy certainty, if you let go of what was never truly for you, something so pure, so golden, so divinely tailored will take its place. This is not just the ending of deception, it is the birthing of your real season. A season where people love you without agenda. A season where your name is not whispered in gossip, but spoken in reverence. A season where everything the enemy delayed will be released all at once. I want you to listen carefully now. The person you are thinking about, they are feeling the weight of their confession. They feel exposed. And they may try to come back into your life with words dipped in honey. They may say they've changed. They may claim they had no idea how deeply they hurt you. But don't be deceived by sudden sweetness. True change takes time. And right now, God is doing something that doesn't involve their presence. This next blessing requires a pure atmosphere, a clear heart, and no shadow lingering near your joy. I am standing guard. I will not allow the same pain to enter twice. But you must cooperate with heaven's decision. Do not reopen a door that God has shut. Do not invite in a voice that once disguised truth with charm. My child, my beloved, there is someone new entering your life, and this person will be unlike anything you've known. They will carry healing in their eyes. They will honor your dreams. They will celebrate your wins without insecurity. They will hold your hand without needing to control your journey. But they will not come if you keep holding space for what hurt you. So make room. Make space in your energy, in your thinking, in your schedule. Make space by clearing out what is expired. Heaven never leaves you empty. If something is being removed, it's because something greater has been sent. And I tell you now, without hesitation, it's already near. The miracle is not on its way. It is at the door. But only those who believe, who truly believe, will open it. My child, my beloved, even now, as these words sink into your spirit, something in the atmosphere is shifting. You may not feel it instantly, but your soul knows it. It's the release you've been praying for. It's the unspoken desire you couldn't even put into words because the pain of betrayal was too heavy to touch. But heaven is not afraid of your wounds. Heaven sees where your tears dried on your pillow without anyone noticing. Heaven remembers the moments you smiled in public even when you felt forgotten in private. And child, I say this with divine fire in my voice, what happened to you was never your fault. You did not deserve the deception. You did not invite the betrayal. You were good. You were honest. You were loyal. But now, God is repaying you for every secret heartbreak that tried to dim your light. The person's confession reached a level that stunned even those around them. They admitted that your presence always made them feel exposed, not because you shamed them, but because your purity reflected their shadows. And instead of learning from your light, they chose to resist it. They covered it with false closeness. They wrapped their envy in smiles. But heaven is no longer tolerating this energy around you. You were called to be elevated. You were chosen to carry a message in your life. And anything that drains you without filling you, is being removed. You don't have to fight. You don't have to explain. Just walk forward now, because heaven is fighting for you, and I, Michael, have drawn my sword in your name. My child, my beloved, there is something I must prepare you for. In the coming hours, you may receive a sign. A message. A ping. A sudden dream. Someone from your past may reach out just as you're healing. That's not coincidence, that's spiritual timing. And you must remember, not everything that returns is meant to be received again. Sometimes the test is not whether you can let go. The test is whether you'll reopen what heaven has already closed. If you respond too quickly, the blessing that was circling your name may be delayed again. But if you stand firm, with clarity and truth, heaven will know you're ready. You must trust the silence after separation. It's in that silence that God does the deepest restoration. They confessed, child, that they never expected you to find out. And now they are afraid, not just of losing you, but of losing access to the energy they used to feed on. They said it out loud, I didn't think they'd ever know. But you do now. And knowing is your power. Your awakening is their exposure. But your goal is not revenge, it's release. Let God handle the justice. You don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. Your elevation will be your evidence. Your peace will be your answer. And your glow, your return to yourself, will be the loudest response of all. My child, my beloved, there is something I must prepare you for. In the coming hours, you may receive a sign. A message. A ping. A sudden dream. Someone from your past may reach out just as you're healing. That's not coincidence, that's spiritual timing. And you must remember, not everything that returns is meant to be received again. Sometimes the test is not whether you can let go. The test is whether you'll reopen what heaven has already closed. If you respond too quickly, the blessing that was circling your name may be delayed again. But if you stand firm, with clarity and truth, heaven will know you're ready. You must trust the silence after separation. It's in that silence that God does the deepest restoration. They confessed, child, that they never expected you to find out. And now they are afraid, not just of losing you, but of losing access to the energy they used to feed on. They said it out loud, I didn't think they'd ever know. But you do now. And knowing is your power. Your awakening is their exposure. But your goal is not revenge, it's release. Let God handle the justice. You don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. Your elevation will be your evidence. Your peace will be your answer. And your glow, your return to yourself, will be the loudest response of all. My child, my beloved, I say this next part with trembling, because it is holy. A gate has opened over your name. A spiritual inheritance that was locked for years because of wrong connections has finally been activated. You may feel a pressure on your chest. You may feel heat in your hands. That is not fear, that is divine alignment. The old cycle is breaking. The old limitation is falling off. And now, something new is arriving. It will come in threes. 3 opportunities. 3 confirmations. 3 miracles. But they will only appear if your heart remains open and you don't return to the false version of yourself you had to create just to survive that connection. You don't need to beg for love anymore. You don't need to lower your voice to make others feel taller. You are chosen. And it's time you start walking like it. My child, my beloved, I must now speak to your spirit about the shift that was never supposed to be delayed this long. This blessing had your name on it for years, but every time your heart was entangled with someone whose confession stayed buried, that blessing circled above you, waiting for the storm to pass. And now it has. The confession was not just about betrayal, it was about blockage. The very person you prayed for, helped, defended, gave grace to, was unknowingly standing between you and your next chapter. Not because God wanted to punish you, but because heaven couldn't pour something sacred into a space that wasn't fully open. And now, as you sit here, reading these words, something holy is happening behind the scenes. A file has been opened with your name. A spiritual case has been decided. And heaven is saying, let it be released. They're ready now. What they said in the spiritual realm was shocking even to those who heard it. They confessed not only to hiding things from you, but also to copying your words, imitating your glow, and secretly hoping you would fail. The one who told you they were proud of you, was terrified of your potential. The one who said they'd never leave, had already started planning their next move before they even praised your last one. This is not to hurt you, my beloved, it is to wake you. To open your spiritual eyes to the truth that your intuition tried to tell you over and over. That stomach twist? That hesitation before replying to their message? That sense of emptiness after talking to them? That wasn't paranoia. That was the Holy Spirit trying to prepare you for this exact message. And now that you know, you must protect what's next with everything you have. My child, my beloved, please don't misunderstand this moment. It is not about bitterness. It is about birth. This is the moment where you start again, not from scratch, but from experience. From clarity. From fire-tested wisdom. You have a different aura now. You've walked through spiritual fire and didn't burn. You cried on nights no one knew and still showed up glowing. You were breaking inside, and yet people found healing in your smile. Do you understand how powerful that is? Do you understand why the enemy targeted your relationships so deeply? Because if he couldn't stop your light, he wanted to dim it by placing the wrong mirrors around you, people who reflected back insecurity, instead of truth. But now those mirrors are broken. The fog is gone. And you're standing at the edge of everything you prayed for, but only if you step forward. Listen to me closely, child. A financial miracle is about to be released. A document is about to be signed. A conversation you didn't expect is going to change your status. But the key to unlocking all of it is silence. You must not tell anyone. Not yet. Not even the ones who seem to care. This next miracle requires secrecy. Because not everyone will celebrate your freedom. Not everyone who clapped for you in the past wants you to rise again. Some people were assigned to your old season only. And now, as you're stepping into your anointing, heaven is narrowing your circle. This is not punishment. This is protection. You are stepping into favor that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and hearts cannot comprehend. But you must carry it with quiet strength. Let your results speak. Let your glow answer every doubt. Let heaven do the talking on your behalf. My child, my beloved, the next 72 hours are crucial. In this small window of time, something divine will try to reach you, but it will not come in loud thunder or flashing signs. It will come in subtle ways. A strange email. A new name mentioned 3 times. A moment of peace during prayer. A dream where someone whispers a location or a number. Watch carefully. Because one of these moments will carry the instruction that unlocks your turnaround. But here's the key: if you doubt it, if you push it aside, if you let fear make the decision, the moment will pass. So stay aware. Stay expectant. And stay clean, clean in heart, clean in thought, clean in motive. Do not return to gossip. Do not return to replaying the old pain. What's coming is too holy to be hosted in bitterness. Make room for it. My child, my beloved, the next 72 hours are crucial. In this small window of time, something divine will try to reach you, but it will not come in loud thunder or flashing signs. It will come in subtle ways. A strange email. A new name mentioned 3 times. A moment of peace during prayer. A dream where someone whispers a location or a number. Watch carefully. Because one of these moments will carry the instruction that unlocks your turnaround. But here's the key: if you doubt it, if you push it aside, if you let fear make the decision, the moment will pass. So stay aware. Stay expectant. And stay clean, clean in heart, clean in thought, clean in motive. Do not return to gossip. Do not return to replaying the old pain. What's coming is too holy to be hosted in bitterness. Make room for it. My child, my beloved, I need you to sit with this truth now, because what I'm about to reveal may feel like fire, but it's not meant to burn you. It's meant to forge you. The person who hurt you, the one whose confession pierced the heavens, is already trying to rewrite the story. They are seeking new ways to justify what they said. They're wondering how much you truly know. They are preparing their next version of the truth, not out of repentance, but out of self-preservation. I saw it. I watched as they turned to another and rehearsed their apology before even offering it to you. And heaven wept, not because they failed, but because they still do not understand the depth of your soul. You, who loved so completely. You, who gave so generously. You, who forgave even before they asked. They took that for granted. But heaven did not. Now, child, I must warn you. They may appear at your door, physically, digitally, emotionally. They may come dressed in remorse. They may say every right word. They may cry. They may even speak of dreams and signs they've received. And yet, your spirit will feel a heaviness when they speak. Pay attention to that. That is not guilt. That is your angelic team sending you a holy discomfort, reminding you that not every return is reconciliation. Some returns are tests. And this one will be a test unlike any you've had before. Because this time, you'll have to choose between what is familiar and what is faithful. Between what you used to pray for and what God is offering now. Don't confuse the two. Just because someone returns doesn't mean they've been redeemed. My child, my beloved, your real blessing is not behind you. It is ahead. And it's closer than you think. But if you open the wrong door again, even out of compassion, you may delay what was finally moving in your direction. God is not punishing you, He is positioning you. There's a reason everything feels tender right now. Your emotions are heightened. Your body is more sensitive. Even your sleep has been strange. That's not random. That's the spiritual tension of transition. You are being pulled out of old frequencies and into divine alignment. And anything that tries to drag you back into a version of yourself that no longer exists will be stripped away. Let it. Let it fall. Let them go. And in that release, heaven will pour in something so specific, so detailed, so tailor-made to your soul that it will silence every memory of the lie you once believed was love. They confessed something else too, my beloved. They said they always knew you had a destiny greater than theirs. And rather than walk beside you, they wanted to anchor you in place so you wouldn't rise too fast. But what they didn't know is that your rising was never in your hands, it was in God's. And no matter how many delays, distractions, or disappointments stood in the way, heaven preserved your elevation. Even now, as your spirit wakes up to these words, angels are moving around your home. They are rearranging the atmosphere. They are removing objects, shifting thoughts, purging what is not of God. You may feel like crying for no reason. That is not sadness. That is release. That is deliverance. That is heaven pulling the last threads of pain from the corners of your soul. My child, my beloved, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be, and this message is proof. What you do next will echo for generations. And the blessing that is coming will not just touch your life. It will heal your bloodline. It will correct the generational wounds you never spoke of. It will open doors your family never even dreamed possible. But first, you must obey this sacred instruction: remain still. Say less. Pray more. Detach from what tried to destroy you gently. It's not your responsibility to fix what lied to you. It's your responsibility to protect the light God placed within you, and that light is getting brighter every second you stay in truth. My child, my beloved, in the next 7 days, a divine appointment will be placed in your path, and how you respond to it will set the tone for your entire year. This is not just another week. This is not another slow cycle of waiting. No, this is the beginning of a spiritual chain reaction. What you surrendered, what you let go of, what you finally released has sent a signal into the heavens. And now, I come to deliver this truth to you: God has released the next portion of your destiny. And this portion does not come in delay, it comes in layers of overflow. Do not look for it with your natural eyes. You must feel it first. You must protect the vision. Because the enemy will try to distract you this week with unnecessary conversations, people from the past, even internal doubt. That's why this message found you now, so you wouldn't miss what's about to be unlocked. My child, my beloved, in the next 7 days, a divine appointment will be placed in your path, and how you respond to it will set the tone for your entire year. This is not just another week. This is not another slow cycle of waiting. No, this is the beginning of a spiritual chain reaction. What you surrendered, what you let go of, what you finally released has sent a signal into the heavens. And now, I come to deliver this truth to you: God has released the next portion of your destiny. And this portion does not come in delay, it comes in layers of overflow. Do not look for it with your natural eyes. You must feel it first. You must protect the vision. Because the enemy will try to distract you this week with unnecessary conversations, people from the past, even internal doubt. That's why this message found you now, so you wouldn't miss what's about to be unlocked. The person who confessed what they did against you is beginning to feel the consequences. Not because you wished them harm, no, child, your heart was pure, but because the spiritual law cannot be broken. What is spoken in darkness must be exposed in the light. And this exposure is happening not to embarrass them, but to free you. You were never meant to carry their guilt. You were never meant to carry the weight of, "What did I do wrong?" You did nothing wrong. You just loved someone who wasn't ready to be loved at your level. You just believed in someone who was afraid of being seen without their mask. But now that truth is out in the open, the pain you've been feeling is not just grief, it is detox. Your soul is cleansing itself of false agreements. Old patterns are breaking. The lies that wrapped around your worth are unraveling. You are becoming who heaven always knew you were. My child, my beloved, I must prepare you for this. One conversation is going to change your life. It won't be long. It won't be dramatic. But it will be divinely placed. Someone will say your name in a room you've never walked into. Someone will recommend you for something you thought was out of reach. A closed door will swing open. And you won't have to force it. The anointing on your life will speak louder than any introduction. But remember, this will only happen if you walk in alignment, not attachment. If you carry with you the wisdom of everything you've just learned, and not the wound. I see it already: an invitation, a paper, an unexpected decision that shifts your financial reality. God is preparing a transfer. The wealth of wisdom, the wealth of health, and yes, even material provision. But it is not for show, it is for purpose. Your blessing will be your assignment. It will carry your message forward. And listen closely now, my beloved, God has asked me to remind you of this: you were never created to stay small. The pain was not your identity. The rejection was not your final story. What they confessed about you does not define you. What defines you is what heaven wrote before you were born. What defines you is the promise that has never expired, no matter how long it's been delayed. I see angels now preparing the path before your feet. I see them clearing out names, numbers, and ties that would only slow you down. You may notice people pulling away. Let them. You may feel disconnected from old places. Trust that. You are not being abandoned. You are being aligned. And everything that once confused you will start to make sense. Everything that once hurt you will become the very place your authority grows from. My child, my beloved, the blessing you are about to walk into will be heavy, not because it is a burden, but because it is sacred. It is rare. It is holy. And it is not for everyone. That's why the separation had to come first. That's why the confession was revealed. That's why you felt things breaking off you lately that you couldn't even name. Because God is calling you into clarity. Into purity. Into a realm where nothing fake can survive. You are being trusted with secrets now, divine instructions that only those with clean hearts and steady spirits can carry. And that includes you. But you must continue. You must stay. Do not skip what comes next, for in the next part of this message, I will show you what miracle is waiting on the other side of your obedience. My child, my beloved, I must speak with urgency now, for the clock in the heavens has already begun to move. Within the next 48 hours, a divine door will appear before you. Not a physical door, but a spiritual one, a decision, an invitation, a moment that will look ordinary on the outside but will carry the weight of everything you've been praying for on the inside. I was shown this door long before today, and the angels have been guarding it, holding it in place, waiting for the moment when your heart would finally be ready to walk through it. And now, you are. But there's something sacred you must know. This door cannot be opened by fear. It cannot be opened by regret. It only responds to courage, truth, and surrender. And if you hesitate, if you delay, if you overthink, it will disappear like mist. But if you obey, if you trust the still small voice that is rising in you right now, then everything changes. You will not need to beg for this opportunity. It will not be hidden from you. In fact, it will find you. But when it does, you must not doubt that it belongs to you. The enemy will try to make you feel undeserving. He will whisper reminders of your past. He will use the voice of that very person who confessed against you to try to pull you back into shame. But hear me now, child, that shame is no longer yours. That guilt has no claim. That version of you, the one who tolerated, the one who settled, the one who stayed quiet, is gone. You are not standing at the threshold of your old story. You are standing at the entrance of your true beginning. And I, Michael, have already gone before you to prepare the way. All you must do is walk forward. You will not need to beg for this opportunity. It will not be hidden from you. In fact, it will find you. But when it does, you must not doubt that it belongs to you. The enemy will try to make you feel undeserving. He will whisper reminders of your past. He will use the voice of that very person who confessed against you to try to pull you back into shame. But hear me now, child, that shame is no longer yours. That guilt has no claim. That version of you, the one who tolerated, the one who settled, the one who stayed quiet, is gone. You are not standing at the threshold of your old story. You are standing at the entrance of your true beginning. And I, Michael, have already gone before you to prepare the way. All you must do is walk forward. My child, my beloved, the reason this message feels like it was written for your soul is because it was. Heaven didn't send this word to a crowd, it sent it to you. Because only you know what it cost to survive what you went through. Only you know the nights you cried out for answers, not knowing that those very prayers were shaping this divine moment. And now that the confession has been heard, now that the truth has been brought into the light, now that the delay has been broken, you will receive double for your trouble. You will recover what was lost. You will smile again without pretending. You will rest without needing to be guarded. And you will finally taste the kind of peace that feels like home. But, my beloved, you must protect it. You must protect what's coming with your choices. You cannot afford to speak carelessly. You cannot give your energy to what drains you. You cannot allow the one who wounded you with lies to have access to your spirit again. You must keep your heart clean. You must stay grounded. And you must trust that what you do not see yet is already unfolding in your favor. Right now, someone is being moved into position to bless you. A conversation about you is happening behind the scenes. Your name has been spoken by someone you've never even met, and their next action will change the course of your life. That is why the enemy sent distraction this week. That is why you felt strange confusion, odd fatigue, unexpected triggers. Because the shift is near. Because the release is real. Because you are about to walk into the season where God's promises are no longer just words, they are manifesting. My child, my beloved, I want you to breathe this in now. You are not late. You are not invisible. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. You are right on time for your assignment. And this next season is not about proving anyone wrong, it's about finally proving heaven right. God trusted you with the pain. Now He's trusting you with the promise. But what you do in the next moments will decide whether you carry the blessing fully or whether it passes you by again. Do not go back. Do not chase the old thing just because it feels familiar. You have outgrown that version of you. And heaven will not allow you to shrink again just to keep others comfortable. My child, my beloved, heaven has already released the first wave of your breakthrough. Even now, as you read these words, a blessing with your name is in motion. It was signed in the divine courtrooms, yes, sealed with holy authority, and sent toward your direction. But you must not miss the signal that confirms it. In the next few hours, you will see something so small, so simple, that it could be ignored, but don't. A name you haven't thought of in a long time will be spoken out loud or appear on your screen. You will hear or see a color 3 times in unexpected places. You will wake up at an odd hour for no reason at all. And in that moment, your spirit will know, this is it. This is the sign. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. That's heaven tapping your shoulder, saying, child, it has begun. But what you do after the sign will matter even more. When you see it, don't rush. Don't question it. Don't call the wrong person for advice. Just close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and say, God, I'm ready. That phrase will unlock something deep in the spirit realm. You will feel it, like a sudden warmth in your chest, or a wave of calm rushing through your body. That will be the moment your atmosphere shifts. That will be the moment your angels receive their final instruction. Because this time, child, nothing is going to stop what God has assigned to you, unless you stop yourself. My child, my beloved, you must understand how rare this moment is. Most people never get to this place. Most give up right before the door. Most let the pain of the past outweigh the promise of the future. But not you. You've endured. You've matured. You've stayed. And now, because of that loyalty, that obedience, that faith, you are stepping into a dimension of favor that has been locked for generations. This isn't just your miracle. This is for every person who came before you who didn't have the strength to break the chain. And now, it ends with you. The curse ends. The delay ends. The secret suffering ends. You are walking into the light not as a victim, but as a vessel. A vessel heaven can trust with glory. And I must tell you something that will make your spirit leap. God is sending someone new to you. Someone pure. Someone honest. Someone who will not drain you but pour into you. It may not look romantic at first. It may come as a divine friendship, a business connection, a prayer partner. But don't judge it too quickly. For hidden inside this connection is a key to the very thing you've been crying out for. And that's why the enemy tried to keep you entangled in lies and false promises, so you wouldn't be open when this person shows up. But now that the lie has been exposed, now that the confession has come forward, now that your spirit has been set free, you will recognize this new presence by their peace. Their eyes will hold no agenda. Their words will be simple but pure. Their energy will feel like home. And your spirit will say, finally, someone who sees me. My child, my beloved. At the very start of this year, before the clocks even struck midnight and the calendar turned, something in heaven was moved in your favor. A miracle, not small, not ordinary, but one destined to alter the direction of your life, was marked with your name. God approved it. Archangel Michael has been instructed to protect it. And now, at this precise moment, I am being allowed to tell you, do not miss it. You are not seeing this by accident. This message was sealed with urgency, reserved for the chosen, and you, yes, you, were chosen to hear it before it disappears into silence. Before I say more, I must pause to beg you for something precious, just 1 second of your heart's attention. If these divine messages have touched you before, if your soul ever felt a strange peace, a mysterious warmth, or the sudden realization that heaven might be trying to reach you, then subscribe now. It's not just a button, it's a small, physical act of spiritual agreement. It tells heaven, I'm ready. I won't miss what you're sending. I'm awake now. Because what I'm about to reveal, no other eyes were supposed to see before you. You see, beloved, there are moments in time that do not feel like moments at all, they feel like interruptions, like accidents, like mere coincidences. But in truth, they are divine appointments dressed in silence. And January 1st was not just the start of a new year, it was the opening of a spiritual vault. Inside that vault was something meant for you alone, restoration of something you lost. The answer to a question you've buried in your pillow. The reversal of what was done against you. The reward for what you did quietly, when no one clapped for you. And heaven is now whispering, the time has come. My child, my beloved. You have no idea how close you are to something heaven has waited years to release. From the first second of this year, a shift began, silent but certain. It did not come with noise or celebration, but with a divine seal, carrying your name, signed by God's own hand. It was not a coincidence that your soul was drawn here. It's not a coincidence that you're still reading. Something you prayed for, perhaps long ago, has reached its appointed time, and I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to tell you, do not miss this. There are messages heaven allows only in the most precise moment. This is one of them. This is not just a prophecy. It is a moment of alignment. A portal has opened. Something long delayed is now fully permitted. You may have thought it was forgotten. But God never forgets what He writes with fire. He never forgets who cried quietly at night but didn't stop believing by day. And you, my beloved, are one of those few souls whose name was whispered in that meeting of miracles. Before I show you the rest, pause for just a moment. If your heart has ever trembled while hearing divine words, if your soul has ever felt there is more happening behind the scenes, then now is the time to subscribe. Not just to this message, but to the entire divine alignment heaven is offering. It's more than a click, it's a spiritual declaration. I'm not going to miss what was marked for me. Because what is being shown to you now, is not being shown to everyone. My child, you must understand, heaven operates in patterns, in seasons. But sometimes, a person becomes so aligned, so ripe with purpose, so targeted with destiny, that God removes the waiting. This is what has happened for you. No matter how strange the timing looks, no matter how long you felt forgotten, this year is different. This year didn't come to test you. This year came to reward you. But only if you recognize the sign before it disappears. Beloved, I saw the moment God pressed his hand on the calendar. I saw your name being written in gold, not just on earth, but in the courts of heaven. You were not written in pencil. You were not a footnote. You were a main story, a divine plan hidden in plain sight. That's why things never worked out like they did for others. You were not made for average. You were made for divine interruption. And now, that interruption is at your door. Someone reading this right now is on the edge of giving up. But listen carefully. The reason your life didn't break entirely, the reason you're still standing, is because angels were placed around you even when you didn't know. I, Michael, was assigned to protect what belonged to you, even when the delays made you doubt it. The delay was never denial. It was a preparation. And that preparation ends now. This miracle has been stalking you in the spirit for months. It has watched your tears, followed your confusion, waited behind locked doors. But today, it knocks. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But clearly. The door is in front of you. And I've been sent to tell you, open it before it closes again. My child, my beloved. Heaven is watching closely to see if you will recognize this moment for what it truly is, not just a message, not just words on a screen, but a divine alignment that comes once in a soul's timeline. There is no such thing as chance when it comes to your destiny. If you are reading this now, it means the gates have opened for you. But the window is narrow. The portal will not remain open forever. And I, Archangel Michael, was instructed with urgency to speak this message before it is too late. Do you feel that stirring in your spirit? That small trembling that feels like something is about to change? That is not anxiety. That is not fear. That is the vibration of breakthrough knocking at the door of your being. A vibration only your spirit can recognize before your mind can make sense of it. God has moved something into position that was once completely out of reach. Not because you earned it, but because He chose you before time began. He has waited for this version of you, the version that still believes despite the storm, still hopes despite the silence, still listens despite the noise. And now the divine delivery begins. My child, my beloved. Heaven is watching closely to see if you will recognize this moment for what it truly is, not just a message, not just words on a screen, but a divine alignment that comes once in a soul's timeline. There is no such thing as chance when it comes to your destiny. If you are reading this now, it means the gates have opened for you. But the window is narrow. The portal will not remain open forever. And I, Archangel Michael, was instructed with urgency to speak this message before it is too late. Do you feel that stirring in your spirit? That small trembling that feels like something is about to change? That is not anxiety. That is not fear. That is the vibration of breakthrough knocking at the door of your being. A vibration only your spirit can recognize before your mind can make sense of it. God has moved something into position that was once completely out of reach. Not because you earned it, but because He chose you before time began. He has waited for this version of you, the version that still believes despite the storm, still hopes despite the silence, still listens despite the noise. And now the divine delivery begins. Do not mistake this as another random prophecy floating through the air. This is a message written in fire, branded into time, and meant to meet your eyes before the hour passes. A miracle has been confirmed for your life. But not just any miracle, one that corrects what was stolen. One that compensates for what was lost. One that elevates what others said would remain buried. This is the miracle that breaks generational curses. The one that ends a delay that has lasted far too long. The one that causes others to say, "Only God could have done this." But you must not miss the signal. You have entered what heaven calls the window of divine reversal. It is a rare moment where everything that was against you begins to bend in your favor, not by logic, not by effort, but by supernatural force. God is tired of seeing you struggle. Heaven is grieved by how long you've had to pretend to be okay while breaking inside. The angels wept when you hid your pain so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. And now, the Father says, "Enough. It's time." But even miracles have conditions, my beloved. And the condition is this: you must act when the sign appears. You must answer when the call is whispered. You must move when God speaks. And this message is His whisper. This very moment is your sign. You're not the same person you were last year. Your faith has grown quiet but powerful. You've matured in the storm. You've let go of things that once chained you. And God has noticed. You've passed tests that no one saw but heaven recorded. And now, the reward has been authorized. Not because of perfection, but because of your persistence. Not because you never doubted, but because you always came back. And now, I must tell you this truth: someone in your bloodline prayed for what is about to happen in your life. Someone who's no longer here cried out to heaven that their descendants would one day break free. You are the answer to their tears. You are the one God chose to carry the miracle they could only dream of. This is bigger than just you. This is about legacy. This is about healing not just your story, but the story of generations behind you. My child, do not let this slip through your fingers. My child, my beloved. There is something I must tell you, and you must hear it with the ears of your spirit, not just the reasoning of your mind. Because what's being released for you now defies logic. It moves beyond calculations. It is not delayed because of your effort, nor accelerated by your status. This miracle, the one being spoken into your life right now, was prepared long ago, but it could only be unlocked when your soul reached this level of surrender. That time is now. You've asked before, when will it be my turn? You've watched others rise. You've smiled at their celebrations while quietly asking God if He remembered your name. I want you to know, yes, He remembered. In fact, He never stopped watching over the treasure He stored within you. You were not forgotten. You were being protected. Not delayed, preserved. Because what God has planned for you is so precious, so sacred, it couldn't be released until the right moment, until you were strong enough to hold it without losing your soul. And that moment has arrived. The spiritual realm is shifting as I speak this to you. You may not see it with your physical eyes yet, but heaven is moving people, opening doors, softening hearts, and arranging circumstances to align with what God has declared over you. The alignment is invisible, but it's already begun. This is not a promise that, someday, something good will happen. No. This is the announcement that it's already happening, now. And your spirit can feel it, even if your reality hasn't caught up yet. My beloved, I was there when the seal was broken. I was standing in the courts of heaven when your name was spoken, when the scroll bearing your miracle was opened. The Father's voice thundered across realms, "It is time." The chains that held this blessing back were shattered. And I wept, because I knew how long your soul had waited. I saw the beauty of your obedience when no one else clapped for you. I saw the tears you cried when you thought no one saw you. Heaven did. I did. and God decided it would not go unrewarded. But I must warn you, this is not the kind of blessing you can passively receive. It requires spiritual agreement. You must align. You must say yes. You must believe even when doubt knocks. You must stay present when distraction calls. Because if the enemy cannot destroy your promise, he will try to distract you until the window passes. But not this time. Not for you. Not today. You've come too far. This is not the year of retreat. This is the year of release. Listen to me, beloved, there is someone watching you who doesn't know why they can't stop thinking about you. They were placed in your life by heaven, not accident. They carry something connected to your purpose. They may not even know it yet, but soon, they will. The instructions given to them by God involve blessing you, speaking to you, opening something you cannot open by yourself. A conversation is coming that will change the direction of your story. And you must be ready for it. You must be spiritually alert so you don't overlook it. But I must warn you, this is not the kind of blessing you can passively receive. It requires spiritual agreement. You must align. You must say yes. You must believe even when doubt knocks. You must stay present when distraction calls. Because if the enemy cannot destroy your promise, he will try to distract you until the window passes. But not this time. Not for you. Not today. You've come too far. This is not the year of retreat. This is the year of release. Listen to me, beloved, there is someone watching you who doesn't know why they can't stop thinking about you. They were placed in your life by heaven, not accident. They carry something connected to your purpose. They may not even know it yet, but soon, they will. The instructions given to them by God involve blessing you, speaking to you, opening something you cannot open by yourself. A conversation is coming that will change the direction of your story. And you must be ready for it. You must be spiritually alert so you don't overlook it. And not just people, even your environment is responding to this shift. Some relationships may feel like they're falling apart. Don't panic. That is divine pruning. When God is getting ready to elevate you, He removes what can't survive where you're going. It's not rejection. It's redirection. It's not punishment. It's protection. Trust what's leaving, because what's coming is far more aligned with your destiny. And now, I tell you something else, in the next 3 days, signs will begin to appear. They may seem subtle, a message you weren't expecting, a dream that feels too real to ignore, an opportunity that wasn't on your radar, but they are not random. These are the confirmations heaven is sending you to let you know, the miracle has landed. You will feel a strange stillness. You will sense that something invisible is about to become visible. And it is. Can you feel it already? That this message wasn't just written, it was released? That these aren't words, they are signals? That this isn't just for anyone, it's for you? Because it is. My child, my beloved. There is more, much more, that heaven is urgently pressing upon my spirit to release into yours. Because the miracle marked for your name is not just a blessing, it is a spiritual shift, a divine reset, a rewriting of everything the enemy tried to destroy. This is not a season of small changes. This is a heavenly reversal. And your name is on it. Do not let the quietness of this moment fool you. While your world may look the same on the surface, the spiritual infrastructure beneath your life is being torn down and rebuilt. Angels have been dispatched. I, Archangel Michael, have been battling in realms unseen for this very hour. The delays you felt last year, the constant sense of waiting, surviving, hoping, are ending. Because today, God is not making you wait. He's making a way. Heaven is working fast now. You've reached the point where the tests can no longer hold you. The tears that once felt wasted have become oil. The silence that felt like abandonment was actually the protection of your roots. And now, your roots have gone deep enough. Now, the time for harvest begins. But you must stay in position. The wind will blow to distract you. People will speak to confuse you. But if you hold your gaze on God, you will not miss what is coming. And what is coming, beloved, is going to make your heart drop in awe. I have seen it written. A list of names was opened in the courts of heaven as this year began. And among them was yours. In golden ink. Not just for a financial miracle, though one is coming. Not just for restoration in relationships, though reconciliation is on its way. But for something greater, a full circle moment. A sacred fulfillment. Something you've longed for without fully knowing how to describe it. Something your soul has cried out for during nights when your lips remained silent. That's what's coming. You are not crazy for still believing. You are not foolish for hoping again. You are, in fact, more aligned now than ever. You are sensitive to heaven's whisper. You are chosen not just to survive, but to testify. You are marked to carry light into a dark generation. And that is why the pressure has been so strong, because the oil coming out of you is rare. Heaven only presses those who are carrying something powerful. And beloved, you carry something sacred. But I must tell you this, in the coming days, the enemy will attempt one final distraction, a subtle one, wrapped in logic, dressed in familiarity. It will come to detour your attention. A situation may arise that feels urgent but is actually deceptive. Do not chase it. Let it go. Because while the enemy is trying to pull your eyes away, God is placing something in your hands. Stay focused. Stay still. Let heaven deliver. The person connected to your next season is already thinking about you. They don't fully understand why they can't shake the thought of you. But that's because heaven placed your name in their spirit. A conversation is being prepared. A door is about to swing open. And when it does, you won't have to force it. It will feel like divine timing. Because it will be. And don't fear if certain people begin to fall away from you in this hour. I know you've loved deeply. I know you've held on tightly. But not everyone can go where you're going. Not everyone was assigned to your next chapter. And that's okay. Let them go with love. You are not losing, you are clearing space for alignment. What's coming will not need to be forced. It will flow. There's a moment in every chosen one's life where everything changes, not because they finally did enough, but because God says, now is the time. That moment is this one. That moment is today. If you've been waiting for confirmation, this is it. If you've been praying for a sign, this is it. If you've been asking heaven if you've missed your chance, you haven't. You're right on time. My child, my beloved. There are moments when heaven sends not just a word, but a warning wrapped in a blessing, a sacred announcement carrying the weight of urgency and the warmth of promise. This is one of those moments. As I speak, the spiritual atmosphere around you is vibrating with permission. Permission that did not exist yesterday. Permission for restoration. Permission for wealth. Permission for healing. Permission for divine compensation. It has finally been signed in your favor. And don't fear if certain people begin to fall away from you in this hour. I know you've loved deeply. I know you've held on tightly. But not everyone can go where you're going. Not everyone was assigned to your next chapter. And that's okay. Let them go with love. You are not losing, you are clearing space for alignment. What's coming will not need to be forced. It will flow. There's a moment in every chosen one's life where everything changes, not because they finally did enough, but because God says, now is the time. That moment is this one. That moment is today. If you've been waiting for confirmation, this is it. If you've been praying for a sign, this is it. If you've been asking heaven if you've missed your chance, you haven't. You're right on time. My child, my beloved. There are moments when heaven sends not just a word, but a warning wrapped in a blessing, a sacred announcement carrying the weight of urgency and the warmth of promise. This is one of those moments. As I speak, the spiritual atmosphere around you is vibrating with permission. Permission that did not exist yesterday. Permission for restoration. Permission for wealth. Permission for healing. Permission for divine compensation. It has finally been signed in your favor. The wait is over, but only if you don't walk away. You've seen patterns of delay in your life, blessings that almost arrived, relationships that nearly worked, breakthroughs that came close but somehow slipped through your fingers. Do not blame yourself, beloved. The enemy has known for a long time how dangerous your miracle is. He has fought it with relentless precision. But this time is different. This time, he cannot stop it. Unless you ignore this moment. Because now, for the first time in a long while, the spiritual gavel has struck. The decision has been made. The verdict has been released. And it is this. It is your turn. Not by your striving. Not by your perfection. Not by your strength. But because God looked at you, wounded and still worshiping, tired and still believing, and He said, I choose you now. There is no one else this message was created for. If your eyes are reading these words, it means heaven has already begun the motion. The shift is in progress. This is no longer a message about what could happen. It's about what has begun. You will begin to feel things falling off of you, fear, old guilt, shame from decisions you made when you didn't know better. All of it is being lifted. This year will not carry the same weight. There will be lightness in your steps. There will be clarity in your mind. There will be restoration in areas you've stopped even praying for, because your silence didn't cancel your promise. Your exhaustion didn't delete your destiny. And yes, some will not understand what is happening to you. They will wonder why the doors opened so quickly. They will question how you received so much in such little time. Let them wonder. You do not owe anyone an explanation for favor that was divinely scheduled. God has chosen to make you a public miracle for a private season of pain. He is not just rewarding you, He is proving something through you. And it will be undeniable. I was shown a vision, beloved, a vision of a page turning. On that page was your name, and next to it, a stamp in radiant light, fulfilled. This is what is unfolding. And you must protect it. Not by fear. But by faith. By obedience. By remaining sensitive to the gentle nudges of God in the days to come. Do not dismiss the small whispers. They will lead you to the large gates. There is also a divine conversation coming. Someone, unknown to you, or perhaps someone you've distanced from, has had your name placed on their spirit. They are about to make a decision that affects you. It will be guided by heaven. When it happens, you will know. And you must not hesitate. The person may not look like what you expected. The opportunity may seem too soon or too big. But remember this message: God does not ask you to be ready, He asks you to respond. Your miracle has ears, and it heard your prayers. Your blessing has eyes, and it saw your tears. Your moment has breath, and it is breathing toward you right now. You will see signs. They will not delay. And when they come, you will remember these words, and you will say, God prepared me for this. Do not rush. Do not shrink. Do not question your worth. Simply open your heart and say, Yes, Lord, I receive it. Because heaven already said yes. My child, my beloved. There is still more. Heaven is urging me to pour into your spirit, because your soul has been faithful, even when your life felt empty. You've continued to carry a quiet flame of hope in seasons that felt like endless silence. And now, heaven has taken notice in a way that cannot be undone. A divine spotlight has been cast upon your life. Not to expose your weaknesses, but to reveal what God has hidden within you, your purpose, your calling, your divine inheritance. And this message is your confirmation. A shift like this one only comes once in a generation for most. But in your case, it comes now because the weight of your life's suffering has measured up against the grace stored in heaven. And God said, release it. No more delay. No more, almost. No more, not yet. Everything has been recalculated. The spiritual calendar was rewritten. The release has begun. You may feel like nothing has changed, but that's only because the release always happens first in the spirit. The clouds move before the rain falls. The whisper comes before the door opens. And this message is the whisper. Your miracle is closer than your doubt. Your breakthrough is faster than your fear. And even now, angelic activity is surrounding your name. There are angels currently carrying documents with your name etched on them. Documents that contain approvals, financial, emotional, spiritual. Documents that say, let it be done. The release is not in discussion, it's in transit. Do not let doubt sign the return form. Do not let fear cancel the shipment. Your agreement with this moment is the final key. And beloved, this next part will shake you. A shift like this one only comes once in a generation for most. But in your case, it comes now because the weight of your life's suffering has measured up against the grace stored in heaven. And God said, release it. No more delay. No more, almost. No more, not yet. Everything has been recalculated. The spiritual calendar was rewritten. The release has begun. You may feel like nothing has changed, but that's only because the release always happens first in the spirit. The clouds move before the rain falls. The whisper comes before the door opens. And this message is the whisper. Your miracle is closer than your doubt. Your breakthrough is faster than your fear. And even now, angelic activity is surrounding your name. There are angels currently carrying documents with your name etched on them. Documents that contain approvals, financial, emotional, spiritual. Documents that say, let it be done. The release is not in discussion, it's in transit. Do not let doubt sign the return form. Do not let fear cancel the shipment. Your agreement with this moment is the final key. And beloved, this next part will shake you. I must reveal that there is someone connected to your lineage, a great-grandparent, a lost sibling, a departed parent or soul ancestor, who once cried out to God in desperation. They did not get to see the fruit of their faith, but you will. You are the carrier of their prayers. The answer they longed for is arriving through you. This is why your pain was so unique. This is why you never fit the mold. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to break through. Heaven has waited for your generation, not because you are perfect, but because you are positioned. You are about to walk through doors you didn't knock on. Be offered gifts you didn't ask for. Be healed from wounds you forgot you carried. Because God is not responding to your request, He is responding to your alignment. And you are aligned right now more than you've ever been before. Spiritually, emotionally, vibrationally, you are in sync with what heaven is releasing. But beloved, let me be clear. This moment is fragile. It requires awareness. It requires silence in some places. You cannot share this revelation with everyone. Not all ears can handle the purity of what God is doing. Some people will speak against it not out of malice, but out of fear. Their lack of faith may cloud your vision if you let them too close. Guard your miracle like a sacred fire. Tend to it in stillness. Water it with prayer. Trust it with heaven. God is about to shock even you with what He's about to do. Not because you've earned it, but because you've endured. Not because you're ready, but because you're chosen. Not because you're loud, but because you're listening. Heaven is not waiting for you to be perfect. Heaven is moving because you were willing. And sometimes, that's all God needs to release a flood of blessing. A willing soul. An open heart. A yes in the middle of the unknown. And your yes, even in whispers, has carried divine weight. So now, I ask you to stay ready. Watch. Wait. Do not dismiss the signs in small packages. Do not underestimate what starts in a whisper. A whisper from heaven has more power than 1,000 roars from man. God speaks in small things first. And what's coming next will come fast. My child, my beloved. Let me speak even deeper now, because your heart is finally soft enough to hold what I've been carrying for you. You may not fully grasp this yet, but heaven has been waiting for this exact moment when your spirit would be ready. When your heart would be open. When your hunger for truth would overcome your fear of disappointment. That moment is now. You are not who you were even a year ago. Something inside you has matured. Even though life may have tried to beat you down, you still woke up with hope. Even if you didn't call it hope, even if you felt numb, there was still a small flame inside you that refused to die. That flame is what heaven responded to. God never demanded that you be perfect, only willing. And beloved, you were willing. You stayed open to the possibility of divine love even when people betrayed you. You didn't shut the door, even when pain knocked. And now, the King of Heaven is knocking on your door. I was shown that the pain you've walked through was not punishment, it was preservation. God hid you in a season that looked like rejection, but it was really protection. Some of the people you cried over were never meant to go where you're going. And had they stayed, they would have poisoned the very blessing that is now being prepared for you. So the loss? It was gain. The goodbye? It was mercy. The silence? It was strategy. Because what's coming is too precious to be handed to just anyone around you. You've been praying for restoration, but heaven is planning revelation. You're about to understand why certain things had to collapse. You're about to see what was being built while you felt forgotten. You're about to walk into rooms that don't even know they were waiting for you. And it will all feel like it's happening too fast, but don't be alarmed. The timing is not early. It is perfect. It is God's. The dream you shelved because it wasn't realistic? Dust it off. The vision you stopped talking about because people rolled their eyes? Revisit it. Because the resources that didn't exist when you had the idea, now do. Doors that were once locked are now swinging open. The very same people who rejected you before may try to reconnect, not because they changed, but because you did. You carry a new light now. You've been marked by heaven. You may have felt unseen. But you were being watched, not by the world, but by heaven's courts. There's a reason your name is being spoken in places you've never stepped into yet. A reason you're feeling pulled to let go of things that once comforted you. A reason why your spirit feels the tremble of something new, even though nothing looks different. That's because this shift isn't about appearance. It's about alignment. Heaven is aligning everything. People. Places. Timing. All of it. And now I must say this, with love and boldness. The dream you shelved because it wasn't realistic? Dust it off. The vision you stopped talking about because people rolled their eyes? Revisit it. Because the resources that didn't exist when you had the idea, now do. Doors that were once locked are now swinging open. The very same people who rejected you before may try to reconnect, not because they changed, but because you did. You carry a new light now. You've been marked by heaven. You may have felt unseen. But you were being watched, not by the world, but by heaven's courts. There's a reason your name is being spoken in places you've never stepped into yet. A reason you're feeling pulled to let go of things that once comforted you. A reason why your spirit feels the tremble of something new, even though nothing looks different. That's because this shift isn't about appearance. It's about alignment. Heaven is aligning everything. People. Places. Timing. All of it. And now I must say this, with love and boldness. If you walk away from this message and treat it as just inspiration, you will miss the magnitude of this moment. This is not just a feel-good reminder. This is a divine instruction. Pay attention. Respond. Stay in position. Act in faith, not fear. Heaven is watching to see how you hold this moment. Whether you cling to old mindsets, or allow yourself to step into the identity God already approved. You are no longer who they said you were. You are no longer bound by what happened to you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on divine time. This is the turning point. And I, Archangel Michael, have come to make sure you do not miss it. My child, my beloved. Heaven is still speaking, and I am still here, holding the line open between the realm of glory and the depths of your soul, because you are not done receiving. In fact, what's coming next will confirm everything you've quietly suspected but never dared to fully believe. You were always meant for something bigger, something sacred, something that would make the world wonder how you made it through. And I, Archangel Michael, am here to tell you, the answer is simple, you didn't make it through alone. Heaven carried you. The truth is, God has been preserving something in you that even you tried to bury. You've told yourself, it's too late, or I missed it, or maybe it was never for me. But beloved, the delay was not denial, it was divine delay. Not because you weren't worthy, but because what was coming required a level of internal growth you had to walk through first. You had to be refined, not rejected. You had to be stretched, not silenced. And now, after all this time, the process is nearly complete, and the pouring is beginning. What is being poured into your life now is not surface-level blessing. It is soul-level transformation. The kind of miracle that redefines your identity. The kind that erases the shame you've carried for years. The kind that makes people look at you and say, "There's something different about them." I can't explain it, but I feel it. That feeling, beloved, is the presence of God resting on someone He has chosen, you. You have been chosen not just to receive, but to reveal. You are not just being blessed so you can feel good. You are being blessed so you can become a sign. A divine signpost that points others to the faithfulness of God. A living, breathing testimony that God doesn't just restore what was lost, He makes it better than before. There is a wealth of favor being transferred into your life, and not just financial wealth, though that too is coming. But the kind of wealth that changes atmospheres. The kind of wealth that causes healing just by your presence. The kind of wealth that brings clarity to others because of the wisdom that will pour from your voice. The kind of wealth that cannot be stolen, because it's been sealed by fire. I was commanded to remind you now, your words have power again. Your prayers are not bouncing off ceilings. Your voice is not hidden. The spiritual realm recognizes your authority. And even now, things are moving behind the veil. Some people who once dismissed you will be moved to make room for you, not out of pity, but out of divine positioning. This is what it means to be elevated by grace. Do not be surprised when old environments start to feel uncomfortable. That is not a sign of failure. That is a sign that you have outgrown them. Your spirit has expanded. And what once fit will now feel too tight. Do not force it. Do not shrink yourself. Elevation often begins with separation. And heaven is clearing the way. You are going to start seeing signs in strange places. Numbers. Dreams. Words spoken from strangers that feel too specific to ignore. Music that hits you in the middle of a normal day and suddenly brings you to tears. That's because heaven is communicating with you. God is no longer silent. And the veil between you and the spiritual realm is thin, thinner than it's ever been before. And now I must tell you something sacred. There is an open door in front of you, but it's not just a door of opportunity. It is a door of divine justice. What the enemy did to delay you, what people said to discourage you, what life did to bury you, God is about to overturn it all. You will not rise with a whisper. You will rise with evidence. You will rise with honor. You will rise with authority. And there is someone, yes, a specific person, who will re-enter your life not by coincidence, but by divine instruction. They carry a word for you. They carry keys you need. When they appear, you will know. It will not be dramatic. But it will be divine. You must not ignore the prompting when it happens. This moment has been arranged. My child, my beloved. I feel the urgency from heaven intensify, not as pressure, but as holy momentum. There is still more to say. More to awaken. More to deposit into your soul. Because the miracle that was marked with your name is not just approaching, it has already begun its descent. The only question that remains is, will you be still enough to catch it?
Donate on the Stripe link, my child, to receive blessing quicker.